It's time for the Metro's only racing talk show, The Front Stretch, presented by Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs.
Well, good morning, race fans, and welcome to The Front Stretch, presented by Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs, online at joeskarting.com. Same location as you've been able to go to for the last, better part of a decade that they've been open. And now a new layout at Joe's Karting. So get down to Joe's Karting and find the new layout that everybody designed and put together. And you can go to the Joe's Karting YouTube page and check out it's a video that they shot with the new layout. So it's pretty cool down there at Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs. 23rd Avenue in the whole area with the AMC theaters, Quaker Steak and Lube, Ruby Tuesdays, Hooters, Mid-America Center, Harrah's, and all that kind of area. So, Harrah's, Horseshoe Casino. I always get that wrong, even though it's basically the same company.
Same company.
Dirk, what do we got lined up for today's show?
Okay, in turn one, we'll recap the race in Las Vegas and take a look at the championship standings after 3 points paying races.
Okay.
Over in turn two, we're going to talk to Anthony Ainslie from Junction Motor Speedway about the Mike Chapin Memorial Spring Thaw.
By the way, isn't it nice to be talking about dirt racing?
Absolutely.
We've been talking so much NASCAR, which, I don't mind. But I know a lot of our fans out there are ready to talk some dirt racing. So.
It's time.
Yeah.
And speaking of dirt racing, when we get into turn three, we've got the gas man in the house. Jack Dover's going to stop in and discuss his 2015 race schedule. And in turn four, we'll talk Phoenix, get a few fantasy tips from Mr. Fantasy Chad Robb, and get you updated on the Pick'em contest, and maybe have a little teaser on some breaking news today in the world of NASCAR.
And turn one brought to you by Kansas Speedway. Tickets for the SpongeBob SquarePants 400 night race Saturday night, May 9th, are available now. Call 866-460-RACE or visit kansasspeedway.com. I love the graphic that they've been putting all over the internet with SpongeBob. He's waving the checkered flag and all excited, and this is going to be entertaining. I'm kind of interested to see what the media center and what the area is going to look like with SpongeBob SquarePants as the official sponsor of the May 9th race.
You might have to go out and just adopt some kids for that weekend.
I have 8 nieces and nephews, so maybe I'll just take a couple of them with me. I always like getting points with my brother and sister for taking their kids for the weekend. So, all right, turn number one. Let's talk results from Las Vegas. Boy, what a quick race, and an entertaining one at that. For how quick it was.
Well, until the number 4 car kind of started dominating. There was some race in the first 100 laps, a few lead changes, a lot of action from there on out. Cautions breed cautions.
Mm-hmm.
So, you had your last race winner going out with a busted up tire. I think he just kind of abused his tire trying to get back on the lead lap. A lot of pit road things happening.
Some penalties for speeding. Tires got away from people.
Several loose wheels. That was kind of odd, and it was all top of the line drivers that were getting them too. It wasn't where you'd normally consider that to be a problem.
Yeah, rough days for Carl Edwards and Jimmy Johnson. They finished 42nd and 41st respectively. Rough day for Tony Stewart. His struggle in 2015 continues as he finishes 33rd. Clint Boyer finishes 21st. Jeff Gordon finishes 18th. Jeff Gordon has not had a top 15 finish yet this season.
Well, there's only 3 races and basically throw out Daytona, so
yeah.
2 races. But
by the way, his best finish, I think 18th is his best finish, and that's because he finished on his tires. Yeah. He didn't wreck his car, which he did at Las Vegas, at Atlanta and Daytona. So.
Well, after having 2 poles, you would have hoped he'd have got a 15, but even a top 10, but it just hasn't worked out.
Right. Then Casey Kane, after making contact with Carl Edwards, finished 17th. Greg Biffle finished 14th, and Joey Logano was the 10th finishing car. Those are kind of the cars in the back of the field, and I shouldn't say back of the field. Those last few guys, not bad. Top 10, top 15 finishes.
Oh, Biffle just kind of ran there all day. I don't ever think he really got anywhere towards the front.
Yeah.
But, they're struggling.
And maybe that's a conversation we have in this turn. Roush Fenway just continues to struggle. They are not only, I don't even think I'd put them as a top contending team right now.
Well, outside of Biffle, how much feedback are they actually getting?
Yeah. They've got 2 young drivers.
Exactly. And, you got them working with new crew chiefs and stuff like that. So, that's going to take a while to develop. And like I said, with the young drivers, they just can't give the feedback a veteran can give.
Matt Kenseth brought his car home in 9th, Carl Larson 8th, Brad Keselowski 7th. Here's about this one. A.J. Allmendinger finished 6th. Talked to him down in Kansas last year at the October race, and he talked about he was concerned about 2015 because of the testing ban that NASCAR implemented for the 2015 season. He felt like that was a hindrance on the single teams, but their alliance with Richard Childress Racing is really paying off. Denny Hamlin came home 5th, Dale Jr. 4th, Ryan Newman 3rd, Martin Truex Jr., again, another Richard Childress Racing Alliance car finishing in the top 10. And Martin's been doing really well so far this year. He came home 2nd, but obviously Kevin Harvick came home with the win, 5 bonus points for leading a lap, the most laps, and winning the race. So it was a trifecta for Harvick.
And he keeps his string alive of being in the front.
Ridiculous. I mean, it's awesome as a Kevin Harvick and a Stewart Haas Racing fan, but Kevin hasn't finished outside of the top 3 since
like 9 races.
Yeah, I mean, and it goes back to
and
obviously
4 of them are wins.
Yeah,
so.
in 2015 or in 2014 for the championship. So, wow. I mean, and let's talk about this because I touched on it with Tony Stewart and his struggles. Have you ever, in your years of watching NASCAR, seen one team member thrive so much as Kevin Harvick, and yet another one struggle so much as Tony Stewart?
Well, the team concept, even though there were teams 20 years ago, they were individual teams. They were all under one shop or something, but they didn't communicate like they do now.
Yeah.
And if your driving style is that much different, setup's not going to work for you.
Right.
And
I guess I just feel like Tony and Kevin are very similar, aggressive drivers, but
they're similar aggressive, but Kevin's not a sprint car guy.
Yeah, that's
at
true.
all.
That's true.
If you'd put Tony in a setup maybe with Kyle Larson was running or Casey Kane, something like that, that are sprint car people, he might have a shot at something.
And one thing Tony was complaining about on the radio at Las Vegas last Sunday was that he feels like these cars are too much like a nationwide car, and he basically hates the 2015 rules package because it reduced the horsepower and it changed the aerodynamics of the car, and he just hasn't found it yet.
Well, that's what some of the nationwide drivers or some of the guys that are running the nationwide races are saying is they've got the cars so similar now that they can carry a lot of information over. That's why you're seeing a lot of the guys run double duty now.
And you're absolutely right. There is a lot of guys that are running double duty because they're able to get that experience on Saturday. I mean, I'm kind of echoing what you just said there. Taking a look at the points, the top 10, Matt Kenseth is 10th. Casey Mears. Let me say that again. Casey Mears is running 9th right now in the championship point standings. Denny Hamlin is 8th. Jimmy Johnson is the first driver in the top 10 with a win. Excuse me, I'm saying that completely wrong. Jimmy Johnson with a win, so he is essentially locked into the chase. And then Casey Kane is 6th. A.J. Allmendinger, 5th. Martin Truex Jr., 4th. Joey Logano has a win. He is sitting 3rd points-wise, but he is also locked in because of the win. Dale Jr. 2nd, and Kevin Harvick gets his win this weekend, so he punches his ticket for the chase.
And takes over the top spot in the points.
Tony Stewart sitting 34th. He is 107 points behind the leader. If my memory serves me correct, in order to qualify for the chase, you have to have a win, and with that win, you have to remain in the top 30. So Tony Stewart right now, and it might be 36 now that I think about it, but he is either not able to qualify for the chase, regardless of if he wins today at Phoenix, because of his 34th position, or he's right there on the bubble. And so I apologize for not knowing that rule exactly, but either way, sitting 34th, a win's not going to do much for him. He needs to turn it around.
He'll move up 10 or 15 spots with a win. He'll take a big jump up there. He'll be in the top 30 easy.
You're probably right. There's not many points. There's about 10, 15 points between him and 27th. So, and that's, by the way, that's Brett Moffitt, who's sitting 27th. So
good for Brett.
Yeah, absolutely good for Brett. 2 races this season, and he's several positions in front of a 3-time champion. Jeff Gordon sitting 30th. I know it's early in the season to be talking about struggles, but when you have 3 races in a row where you struggle, that stuff kind of starts to pop up any time of the season. But luckily, it's happening at the beginning where him and Alan Gustafson can get that 24 turned around.
Well, especially with coming off the year they had last year. They had a solid year last year. They weren't expecting this.
Absolutely. Other ones standing, Carl Edwards, 23rd. Kyle Larson, 21st. Let's see, Brad Keselowski, 16th. Clint Bowyer, 14th. And then it kind of fills in with your typical top 15. Ryan Newman, Greg Biffle, and Matt Kenseth is your 10th place standing as of points from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Quickly before we take a break and head over and talk to Anthony Ainslie, I want to talk about Kurt Busch being reinstated. Last Saturday before the show actually aired and we really got a chance to talk about it, I put a poll, just kind of an impromptu poll on our Facebook page, which you can head over to now. Just search for The Front Stretch and like our page. We try to put up as much information as we can every week but not overload you with it. But unanimously that Kurt Busch should be immediately reinstated by NASCAR once the Delaware DA decided they weren't going to press charges on Kurt Busch. And everyone I got a lot of opinions saying that NASCAR should have never suspended him, that it was too early of a call for them to suspend him. And so I kind of wanted to get your opinions on it. And obviously we know now that Kurt was reinstated for today's race, so he will be in the 41. But go ahead with your thoughts on that.
Well, my thoughts is the whole thing, when it shook down without any charges or anything, I think NASCAR jumped the gun, but they're trying to be proactive. They didn't want to get caught in a Ray Rice situation.
Exactly.
And be behind the 8 ball and then look silly. So they went ahead and went after it, which I think is why they're going ahead and letting him be eligible for the chase. Mm-hmm. So if he wins a race, he's in. Before, you had to have some type of extenuating circumstance if you missed a race.
Right.
So, and I think that's, what they're considering that at this point. I don't like the way NASCAR just keeps coming up with these extenuating circumstances,
I kind of like it because you can't put any kind of definition on the circumstance, because this was something that Kurt Busch, the DA never felt like there was enough evidence to charge him with anything. So essentially, in the eyes of the Delaware DA, nothing happened.
Correct.
So I think Kurt should have been granted this extenuating circumstance because he was a victim in this crime, and it all played out. I think I am okay with the way NASCAR handled the situation.
Well, the fact that they screwed up once, 2 wrongs don't make a right.
Yeah.
To me, if you've got something in place, this is what you got to do to qualify for the chase, then leave it there. Mm-hmm. Brian France started this a couple years ago when he said Jeff Gordon's in the chase because I can put him in the chase.
Yeah, that was kind of...
And
that was just a debacle, too. I mean, poor Martin Truex Jr., he was just trying to race that day. And all of a sudden, he goes from, I'm in the chase, I have a full-time ride, I have a great sponsor, to I'm over at a single-team organization in Denver, Colorado, and it's just my world has been turned upside down. But anyway, sorry.
And it's just taken him a year to come back from it.
Yep.
But, he's definitely a stronger person because of it, and
I think that NASCAR did the right thing with Kurt Busch. I think they waited until the DA acted, and then, we live in a world of innocent until proven guilty, but that's not the case in public opinion. And with as big of a firestorm as the NFL created when they didn't do anything with Ray Rice and they didn't do anything with Adrian Peterson, and then by the time public opinion exploded and people were screaming at Roger Goodell, the NFL finally acted. I think NASCAR said, you know what, there's a ruling that's come down not in favor of Kurt Busch, so we need to pull him out of the car. We need to protect our image, because that's honestly, to NASCAR, that's the most important thing. And I think for this fan base, we're very proud of our drivers because we don't have, domestic abusers. We don't have drug addicts. We don't have gun-toting criminals in nightclubs shooting themselves and shooting other people. We have well-rounded, respectable drivers in this sport. And I think NASCAR said, and, I'm sorry, Kurt, but we're going to pull you out of the car. We need to protect ourselves, our sponsors. We need to protect your sponsors and all of their sponsors. Chevy was the only one that really kind of came out against Kurt Busch and said, we're suspending our relationship with Kurt Busch for the time being, but we'll monitor the situation. And then earlier in the week when his suspension was lifted, they said, we're re-engaging our relationship with Kurt Busch, but we are continuing to monitor the situation. So it's kind of like, Kurt, we're back with you, but you're on your last string.
Absolutely.
I really get the feeling Kurt's on his last string for any kind of outburst, outrage, any kind of incident with NASCAR before they pull the plug and just say, Bud, you're done. They may not come out and say we are indefinitely suspending Kurt Busch and he's done, but they're going to have a conversation with him in the back office and say, it's time to hang up the wheel.
It's going to depend on exactly what it is, because if it creates some interest in the sport again, they'll drag it out and use it, mm-hmm. which any business would, So, but yeah, he's got to be close to the end of that rope.
If you are a part of the Pick'ems contest, I want to go ahead and throw this out there that it's something we kind of talked about early in the Pick'ems contest, but until an example happens, it's hard to understand. For the last several weeks, Regan Smith's been filling in that 41, and there have been a couple of people that have taken the 41 car. Technically, according to the rules that I laid out, you've got Regan Smith as your driver. So Kurt Busch is still available to you to pick 2 times in the regular season and once during the chase. And I just wanted to clarify that for any Pick'ems contestant that was wondering about that. It'll be the same thing with the 18 car when Kyle Busch gets put back in it. Frankly, for what I'm hearing, if he gets back in it this year, because that's going to be a long, long road to recovery and a painful one at that.
Oh, yeah. If he gets back, it'll be the second half of the season.
Yeah. So if there is a substitute driver for any reason and you take the car number, you are technically taking that driver. And even though they may not score NASCAR points because they may not be eligible in the Sprint Cup Series, I'll figure it up how much they should have gotten and get you that amount of points. So just wanted to clarify that part of the rule. And for you, those of you out there, the 5-week contests are going to roll on throughout the season. So if you want to be a part of them, we've got Iowa Speedway tickets already in-house. That's going to be our next contest we're going to be doing in a couple of weeks. Shoot me an email, frontstretch590@gmail.com. Let me know you want to be a part of the Iowa Speedway Pick'ems contest, and we'll get you involved in that. It's absolutely free, and you get a chance to win tickets to Iowa Speedway. And that's coming up quickly, too.
And that is a fun show.
That is an absolutely fun show. I am really excited. I'm really, really, really sad that the Silver Nationals is on my favorite race at Iowa Speedway, which is the IndyCar Series. But I'll obviously be at the Silver Nationals over the IndyCar Series. But I wish I could go to both, but, can't have your cake and eat it, too.
You can.
All right. Yeah, it's true. I've never understood that saying, by the way. That's just a weird saying. All right. Let's take a break. We'll come back in turn number 2. We're going to talk with Anthony Ainslie of Junction Motor Speedway about their race coming up this coming weekend on the 27th and 28th. We'll be back. This is The Front Stretch, presented by Joe's Karting on AM 590, Omaha's ESPN Radio.
Are you looking to book your next outing? Look no further than Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs. Located just north of Bass Pro Shop, Joe's Karting can handle outings of well over 100-plus people. Bachelor parties, corporate outings, team building, birthday parties, and much more. Give Buddy a call today and reserve your outing. Joe's will even work with local restaurants to cater your event. Book yours today at joeskarting.com. That's karting with a K. It's time to get to Joe's and find out what everyone already knows.
Sports fans, the brightest stars of NASCAR are about to light up the night again at Kansas Speedway. Megastars Dave, Danica, Carl, Clint, Jeff, and more. Saturday, May 9th, it's our second annual NASCAR Sprint Cup Series night race. Parking is free and coolers welcome. Tickets on sale now with even more seats for $99 or less. Kids tickets just $29. Call 866-460-RACE or visit kansasspeedway.com today.
We're working the high line into turn 2 on the front stretch, presented by Joe's Karting. Online at joeskarting.com.
Heading into turn number 2 here on the front stretch, brought to you by Kaziski Auto Parts, online at kaziski.com, and I-80 Speedway. Tickets for the Spring Meltdown coming up in just a couple of weeks are available at i-80speedway.com. They have a new online ticket purchasing software that you can take full advantage of while sitting at your cubicle or just sitting at home. Just pull up your smartphone, pull up your laptop, desktop, whatever you got, and you can purchase your tickets right then and there. You don't have to worry about waiting in line the day of the race. So get your tickets today, i-80speedway.com. A guy that's probably going to be roaming around in the pits during the Spring Meltdown, Anthony Ainslie joining us on the phone. Anthony, how you doing, sir?
Oh, I've been doing good. Just dying to get back to racing action.
Is it me, or has it been a very, very long off season?
It's not as long. It's not very long when you look at it from a calendar's perspective, but in real life, man, it feels like forever.
Oh God, and the weather hasn't been helping at all. I mean, maybe it's just me being old and crusty and complaining, but it feels like this year's been the coldest on record.
Well, it was a nice weather in January that's got everybody confused.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, seriously.
Well, Anthony, we're talking to you today because you're going to be doing the announcing out at Junction Motor Speedway for a race coming up next weekend, the Mike Chapin Memorial Spring Thaw. It's the second race of the kickoff for the 2015 Dirt Racing Series, obviously, this weekend, Beatrice Speedway raced their opening season. You guys at Junction are racing next weekend, and then I-80 is back in April. So a lot going on over the next couple of weekends, so I wanted to have you on to talk about the Mike Chapin Memorial Spring Thaw.
Oh, no problem. Actually, the Spring Thaw, it's going to be taking part on March 27th and 28th. So it'll be, I think, the week before the Spring Meltdown, I think.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be a great 3 weeks of racing, and something we haven't got to say for a long time.
Yeah, well, for the better part of 3 months, and I don't know if you're going to head down to Beatrice, but I'll be down there looking for people to chat with and watch some good racing. But moving on to Junction, I tell you what, it's going to be a good couple of days of racing. It's going to be a little different this year because the last few years the Spring Thaw has been a Saturday-Sunday event, but now they've moved it to a Friday-Saturday deal. Racing starts at 7 o'clock on both nights. It should be a pretty good one for the weekend race fans to come out and sort of get back into the swing of things.
Looks like you've got late models, modifieds, B-mods, hobby stocks, and stock cars all set. Pit gates open at 3, grandstand gates open at 5, and the racing, like you said, starts up at 7 o'clock. Any kind of drivers that you've been talking to so far? I know we're talking to you about a week ahead in advance because we pre-record on Wednesday nights, but anybody you've been talking to about some big names that are going to make it out and kind of maybe shake down their car for the year at the Mike Chapin Memorial Spring Thaw?
I haven't quite heard of who's going to be there. I've heard some other names that are going to be there. A couple of the local guys that are going to be there. Dietrich Drewer, who he had an interesting season last year in the B mods. I think he won Rookie of the Year. He ended up rolling his car one night, but now he's got a brand new look for his B mod. He'll be out there in the 25V. And also, I don't know if I can confirm this yet, but the four-cylinder, the Sport Compact track champion from last year, Tyler Berrybow, he has moved up into the hobby stock ranks. I've seen a couple of pics of his new car on Facebook. I don't know if he's going to make it to the spring thaw. I think he will, but I'll be looking out for Berrybow and his 14 junior hobby stock. But with the big names, I probably want to say that perhaps Corey Dumpert will be out there. Of course, Corey won the state championship last year for the NASCAR Wheel and All-American Series. And when it comes to modifieds, I think Kevin Larkins may be out there. Tyler Iverson might be out there. Iverson's a former track champion. Right now, I haven't heard too much about who's coming to the Spring Thaw, just mainly been hearing who's going to make the Spring Nationals this weekend in Beatrice, and then I just can't wait for the Spring Meltdown to come.
Are you going to be doing the turn-by-turn announcing, or are you going to be in the pits again?
I'm banking on going into the pits once again. I'm not sure what Joe has in store for me. All I've heard right now is he's going to be saving me for the SLMR series whenever they're out touring. Other than that, not sure if I'm going to be joining you in the pits or up in the booth with Joe.
But what about at Junction Motor Speedway? Don't you do the announcing out there, or do I have my sources wrong?
I'm still out there, but
okay.
It's going to be a little tougher for me this year because a couple of Saturday nights SLMR is out touring and Junction has racing the same night. Mm-hmm. So I'm starting to come to those decisions, but I think I'll be going out with SLMR when Saturdays roll by on their schedule. But whenever SLMR is not touring on Saturday, I'll be out at Junction. I'm not sure if Wayne Dake's going to be out there as much as he was last year, but you can probably count on Wayne coming out once in a while.
What about changes you guys have made at Junction Motor Speedway that you can talk about for the 2015 season? Anything that drivers or fans need to be made aware of, or is it going to be business as usual?
Well, a lot of the usual special events are still intact. We do have the SLMR series. I'm looking at the schedule. I think 2 times the XLMR, 3 times the Super Late Model Racing Series will be in action. And, of course, I think Tuesday, August 18th, that's a big day to mark on the calendar. The World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series returns to Junction Motor Speedway, I believe for, what is it, now about the 4th or 5th time they've come to the Junction. I believe that's the Tuesday following the Knoxville Nationals. And then, of course, the big King of the Hill late model shootout with the Lucas Oil MLRA late models coming in for 2 days of racing. And, of course, a big one starting the year, I think a week or two after the spring thaw, is the USAC wingless sprint cars coming into town for only the second time. Last year we saw Hunter Schurenberg take the checkered flag with the USAC wingless sprints. So it's good to have them back once again for all those open wheel fans.
Bringing it back to the Mike Chapin Memorial Spring Thaw, do you have payouts that you guys know of so far, or is that still being worked out as we get closer to the race?
I believe it's still in the process. I'm trying to look on JMS's website right now. So far, it's just prices for fans to get in. Of course, the pit passes are $25, and pits open at 3 o'clock. Just the basic information, no payouts yet. But I'm just actually pretty glad that Mike Chapin is going to get a bit of memorial service for the spring thaw. Of course, last year, early in the season, we lost Chapin to cancer, and hopefully this makes up for it. Of course, Chapin was a former late model driver. Unfortunately, I didn't have the chance to watch him race at all, but I think it'll be a nice service for Mike Chapin during the spring thaw, and hopefully everyone gets to come out, watch some good racing, and hopefully we get the season started off right.
Yeah, and that was awfully nice of Junction Motor Speedway to rename their kickoff race from the Spring Thaw to the Mike Chapin Memorial Spring Thaw. And then be sure to let us know if you guys are going to be doing anything special out there, like a Pass the Hat or any kind of fundraiser to help his family pay for those medical bills. Trying to fight the big C word is never a cheap thing. So, the great thing about this community is they always pull together and help out one another.
Absolutely. I hope we do something with the chicken because, he earned the nickname the Chicken Streaker during his racing career. So if anything, if we can involve a rubber chicken somewhere in the program, that would be great. It'd be a nice tribute to Mike, and hopefully his family is doing well. I hope some members of his family will come out, and we'll definitely support them any way we can. Absolutely.
Anthony Ainslie of Junction Motor Speedway getting ready for the Mike Chapin Memorial Spring Thaw coming up March 27th and 28th at Junction Motor Speedway, McCool Junction. Anthony, appreciate your time, sir.
Yeah, no problem. I'll be back anytime you need me.
All right. Well, I'll be calling on you shortly. We got a lot of racing to talk about as we're getting closer to dirt season.
Oh, you know it, bud.
All right. Thanks, Anthony. Have a good one.
All right. Take care.
Bye. Really good guy. I always like talking to Anthony. He always impresses me with his memory. You talked about that one time, too. I mean, you see the book that I have to carry around with me to remember who finished where last weekend. Memory. And you remember all that stuff. I'm like, what I wouldn't give to have a memory like that.
Yeah, just got to have film for that photographic memory.
The number of times I'm sitting at my desk on the workday, and I'll just stop and go, wait, what was I doing? Why is there a banana in my hand?
Wait until you get older.
I'm afraid. I think I've got Alzheimer's kicking in already.
You're going to have to run into every room so you remember what you were supposed to do when you got there.
I'm going to have to start writing notes on my hand. I'm going to start investing in stick-it notes.
Get your little hat with a bill on it and a Post-it note hanging in front of your face.
JunctionMotorspeedway.com for more information and getting your tickets in advance for the Mike Chapin Memorial Spring Thaw coming up this coming weekend, Friday, March 27th and 28th at Junction Motor Speedway. Again, pit gates open at 3 o'clock both days, $25 for pit passes. Grandstands open up at 5 o'clock, $15 for adults, $5 for students and kids between the ages races of 5 and under get in for free, and then the green flag waves at about 7 o'clock. Again, junctionmotorspeedway.com for more information. Let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk to the gas man, Jack Dover, about his 2015 race season. This is The Front Stretch, presented by Joe's Karting on AM 590, Omaha's ESPN Radio.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak and Lube.
Quaker Steak and Lube is the official watering hole for the front stretch and the best place to catch all the NASCAR action today. Open at 11 a.m. with delivery available to Council Bluffs.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak and Lube.
This is Andrew from Kaziski Auto Parts. Kaziski Auto Parts is an insurance-quality used parts supplier that can match your foreign or domestic car or truck needs. If you have a damaged or broke-down car or truck, we guarantee a clean and quality part in next-day fashion. Kaziski Auto Parts, your neighborhood premium recycled parts supplier. Call any Kaziski Auto Parts salesman today by dialing 402-731-4592 or visit us at 5040 I Street in Omaha. Kaziski Auto Parts, our quality used parts will match your car or truck's needs.
Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs has taken a page out of IMCA's rulebook and gone crate. These brand new low-emission engines will still have you white-knuckling it all through the Metro's fastest indoor facility. Joe's Karting is now friendly for all skill levels with their brand new Honda-powered engines. It's time to get to Joe's today and find out what drivers like Jack Dover, Shaylee Bate, and Andrew Kosiski have known for years. Located in Council Bluffs and online at joeskarting.com. That's karting with a K.
Time to grab another tear-off and make your move. We're headed into Turn 3 on the Front Stretch, presented by Joe's Karting.
Welcome back to the show, and thank you for joining us on the Front Stretch. It's time to talk a little bit of dirt track action. We just got done talking with Anthony Ainslie from Junction Motor Speedway, so now we're going to switch rides, and we're going to talk about a driver in the Sprint Car Series. And Jack Dover, the gas man, joining us on the phone. Jack, it's always great to have you back on the show.
Thanks for having me again, and I always have fun doing interviews with you guys, so thanks for having me.
Well, we won't get as crazy as normal, but we'll try to, because we like to have fun with you. You're a good sport.
Well, hopefully we don't have any more jokes like we had last time.
We'll try not to. I want to talk to you today because you announced your 2015 race schedule, and I know you're over the road right now hauling, so I'm going to kind of guide you through it a little bit. But when's your first race? While I get it pulled up real quick.
Well, actually, on my schedule it says our first race is March 28th down in Wichita, Kansas, at 81 Speedway, and had a guy call me from Kansas the other day. His name's Danny King, Steve King's father. Want me to drive his car in Texas next weekend, so that sounds like that's going to work out. And, we'll go from Texas up to Wichita, and then Wichita we'll go to I-80.
And you'll be there for the Spring Meltdown on Friday and Saturday for that 2-night race, and then looks like you head to Park City at Is that back to 81 Speedway?
Yes, Park City is 81 Speedway.
Okay, and what's your schedule like this year? Are you doing any kind of following any series? Maybe I know there's not the ASCS Midwest for you to win again, but any thoughts on following a tour series? Or are you going to go rogue again?
We're just going to hit the road. The last 2 or 3 years we've just been racing for wins and trying to chase the money, and that's just the funnest racing there is. So that's what we're going to do this year, and just try to reach our goal and try to get 20 wins.
20 wins, that's a pretty good goal to shoot at.
Yeah, I mean, that's been my goal the last 4 years, and we're always about 4 or 5 short. So I'm going to do whatever it takes to get it this year.
Any thoughts on running the Nebraska 360 series for championship points? You missed out on it because of a wedding last year, but any thoughts on doing that this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to run 95% of the shows. We might miss 1 or 2, but I'm hoping with the goal of 20 wins that our point average is up there, so in case we do miss 1 or 2, we'll still come out with the championship at the end of the year.
Did you tell all your friends at the beginning of the season, no getting married in September and October?
No, but I should probably tell them
that. Let's get that memo sent out so we don't have another incident like we did last year.
Yeah, we don't want that. The funny part about that whole deal last year was it was the last race of the year, and my car, or Trevor Grotzenbacher, the kid that won the championship, had to finish 8th or better, and he finished 9th, and my car finished 9th. So that's how close it was. We lost like 2 points, but it's a good pusher for Trevor, and hopefully it'll be a challenge this year.
Is it? I know you. I don't know. Championships don't seem like they're that important to you. Like, you're great when you win them, but when you lose them, it's more about the racing and, quite frankly, being able to pay for the operation more than taking home championship trophies.
Yeah, I mean, sponsors like championships, but sponsors also like wins, and I don't know, 20 wins is pretty good for a driver in sprint cars anymore. I mean, I think there's a guy that keeps count of all the feature wins through open wheel, and I think the guy with the most wins last year had like 28 wins. So there's not that many people. I mean, it shows how many people win races out there in sprint cars. You never know who's going to win.
Yeah.
Well, how many NSL shows you got set up, Jack?
I think we got 4 NSL shows set up, and then we'll do 4 of those, and then we'll go run 410 Nationals again also.
Yeah, that I'm curious to see how that NSL goes. I mean, I know it's going to be brand new, but sounds like they got some brains behind it and a little bit of money, so should be able to survive.
Yeah, Todd with Big Game. He's a really smart business guy, and I think that's what you need if you got a new series going together. So I think it's going to be a good deal.
We're talking to Jack Dover, the gas man, and you can head over to jackdoverracing.com and check out his full race schedule. Got a lot of races coming up this year. Is there one racetrack or race that you put on your schedule this year that you're particularly excited about?
Yeah, I'm really excited. The last couple of years, I wanted to get over to Pennsylvania or Ohio, and I finally scheduled one. They paid like $2,500 each night, and there's 3 nights. So that's the one I'm really looking forward to.
Looks like you're also going to be heading south down to Mesquite, Texas for the Devil's Bowl at the end of the year in October, and then Little Rock, Arkansas for a 4-night show at I-30 Speedway.
Yeah, I mean, that's always a good end-of-the-year races to go to because you got the best of the best. Everybody's starting to wind down, and you get some outlaw guys going to Devil's Bowl, and then they'll go over Little Rock. So good competition and good way to the end of the year.
We always talk about your future in racing, and obviously, you know, being young like you've got a long career in front of you. But you know, your aspirations are to get up into the bigger touring series, like the World of Outlaws, maybe even up into NASCAR. Has there been any progress on that? Any negotiations or conversations with teams about development deals or working on getting you up into some higher series?
Yes and no. I mean, I had one last year, but it fell through. So, like I said, we're just going to try to get 20 wins this year, and hopefully we'll open somebody's eyes, and an opportunity will come to us. But like you said, I do want to get up into the bigger leagues, like full-time World of Outlaws. And my goal was always NASCAR growing up, but I think I'm getting too old for that. So if somebody offered me a full-time in the Outlaws, I'd definitely do that.
What about talking? I got to get Luke to open up that wallet just a little bit more and get you a World of Outlaw series.
Yeah, we actually talked about that the other night in the shop. I'm sure a lot of people out there know that he sponsors 3 or 4 other guys, Jesse Saab being another main one. And Luke and Jesse, they're trying to chase that USNCS points championship this year, and they're sitting 3rd, I think, in points right now. So, I mean, if anything comes out of it, I hope Jesse wins that, and that'll make Luke happy. And then hopefully one day Luke can throw some money, more money my way, and we'll go chase the Road of Outlaw Points Championship.
Yeah, you need to start working on Pete Fink too. I mean, Pete's got a little bit of a pocket.
Yeah, Peter's done a lot for me the last couple of years, and I can't thank those two enough. I mean, I probably wouldn't be racing if it wasn't for those two. They helped me a whole bunch.
It all comes down, frankly, the starter of this whole thing is talent, but you can't have a good ride without a good sponsor. And talent and sponsorship seem to go hand in hand. You got to be talented, and you got to have sponsors that'll back you.
That's right. I mean, if you're not talented and out there winning races, then nobody's going to want to put their name on your car.
Yeah.
So, I mean, us winning a lot, that definitely helped us get the sponsors, and we got good sponsors behind us also, and that helped a lot too.
And also, you got to show that dedication. I mean, you got to make it your number one priority, and I think you've done that.
Yeah, and we're going to keep pushing harder and harder and see where the future takes us.
Well, I had a question for you, but it's completely slipped my mind, so we'll just reset one more time. We're talking with Jack Dover at jackdover.com, the man behind the wheel, the number 53, certified transmission, Home Pride Motorsports sprint car. What all are you going to be racing? We talked a little bit of 410. We talked 360. Are you going to be doing any 305 racing?
Mainly 360s, and I'm hoping to get 10, 14 shows in this year, and me and Luke were talking the other day in the shop. He sounds like he's going to put together a sprint car and have a 305 in it. That way he can go race it. He's never raced a sprint car, so that'd be something for him to do. He's always wanted to try it. And then, like when Jesse's not racing, he'll hop in it. And then come 305 Nationals, if I ain't got nothing scheduled, we'll go run that also.
So it's going to be kind of a what you call a loaner car, maybe? Just, hey, who wants to drive the car this weekend?
Better have an adjustable seat.
Yeah, you call it a play car. Whoever wants to go out and play, they're more than welcome to get in it.
Maybe I'll give him a call and see if I can't go play around in it.
Uh-oh.
There you go.
He rode in lunch with me one time. I don't think he'll let me stand in the hauler.
Katie, bar the door.
I remember what
for the right price, you do it.
Yeah, I remember what question I was going to ask you. We talked to several ARCA drivers in the pits at Iowa Speedway last year, and an ARCA owner, and they basically said, in order to run an ARCA race, you got to come to us with about $60,000 in sponsorship. It's maybe it's too much of a touchy question. You don't want to answer it, but do you think that's the kind of money that you could scare up to go and race an ARCA race, a one-off race at like an Iowa Speedway or Kansas Speedway?
Yeah, I mean, Gary Swenson, the guy that was helping me a couple of years ago, we actually went down to Daytona and talked to some ARCA guys and the owners, and he said exactly right. It takes about $60,000 just to run one race. And I mean, do you spend $60,000 on that and have a chance of wrecking, or do you put $60,000 in something that you know that works like a sprint car, like my sprint car? You try to just open somebody's eyes and have them ask you to come drive for them.
Yeah, that's a lot of money to take a shot on. You don't even know what's going to happen in the race, because unfortunately a lot of what comes down to racing is that you got to depend on the guys around you more than you got to depend on you.
That's right. I mean, you can go out there and spend $60,000 to drive the car and wreck in the first lap, and you're out $60,000 just that quick. So yeah, I'd love to do it, but I'd rather have $60,000 in my sprint car that I know I can do good in.
Well, it also depends on exactly, where you're wanting to go with your career. Obviously, if nobody's discovered you yet, even though you've got a pretty solid resume in the sprint car, you might have to just branch out and maybe not quite jump up to the K&N, but or try a K&N ride as opposed to an ARCA race or something like that. I know you can do that for a lot less money.
Right, and I've been watching that this winter and trying to put together a price and seeing what that costs, and I think it's about half the price. So, like you said, I mean, it's just, you want to spend the money and see where it takes you.
Yeah. Do you think it'd be worth for you to, give it one shot? I mean, yeah, you may waste $30,000 or $60,000, but that may get you noticed a lot quicker than racing sprint cars and winning 25 races in a season, because you're at a NASCAR track. You're there with Xfinity Series owners and Cup Series owners. So do you think it'd be worth it to give it one shot?
Yeah, I've always thought about it. It's like flipping a quarter. It's just, you don't know what to do. I mean, like you said, you could spend $35,000 or $40,000 for the K&N series and go out there and do really good and maybe open somebody's eyes, and then next thing you know, you're in NASCAR, or you could spend $35,000 and go out there and wreck and look like a fool. So,
well, the good news for you is I'm $1 closer to putting you into a K&N Series race car, because I've got my nationwide cuss jar, and now it's up to, I think, $25. Every time I say nationwide instead of Xfinity Series, I have to put $1 into the cuss jar, and, well, you're $1 closer, bud. Awesome.
Well, keep cussing.
I don't know. I just work at a small radio station in Omaha. I don't have money like that.
Hey, Jack, have you ever taken a second and talked to Josh Krug about doing the ARCA stuff? Because, I mean, he ran that whole ARCA. I think he missed one race there a couple years ago. Finished in the top 10 in points. You know, have you ever...
That Gary, the guy that I said that was helping me, we went down to Daytona, he kind of helped Josh get in that whole deal. So I've never really talked to him, and it might be a good idea to talk to him and see what his thoughts are behind it.
Yeah, I mean, just I know I've never talked to Josh about it much. I think it kind of got to be a sore subject when you can run in the top 10 and, you know, not get offered some type of a ride. I know his dad wasn't real happy about it. I've talked to Pat about it before, but, you know, he went and, you know, as far as I'm concerned, you run a whole year, maybe you missed one race, you paid your dues, you know.
Right, yep.
Well, and we're seeing it up in the Cup Series now, where I can't even remember what team it is, but they just decided we're not going to do the West Coast swing, and so the guy that was driving their car was all of a sudden like, well, I'm out of a ride for 3 rides. We had a deal to race a full season, but they've just decided they're going to save money and not race, and all of a sudden I'm out of the spotlight.
Right. I mean, that's another thing that comes down to the whole ARCA and K&N series is you really got to do your research behind it and see what teams are good and which ones might just take a car there and take your money and it's not a good car. So it's really a hard thing to come up with.
We're talking with the gas man, Jack Dover. Again, go over to jackdoverracing.com for more information. Jack, let's get a little bit more into your personal racing, your personal life. Dating your girlfriend for quite a while now. Things working out pretty good with you guys?
Oh, yeah. We've been dating for a year and 7 months tomorrow, so it's going really good, and she's a huge pusher on racing, and she always wants me to do good. That's what she said the other day. She's like, you better win a lot of races this year. So that's kind of girlfriend of racer.
She goes to, and apologizes for the cutting out. Jack's driving over the road for his Jack Dover hauling, and so it's kind of cutting out a little bit there, but we'll stick with it as best we can. She is very supportive of you. She's not a stay at home and wait for you to get home after race day. She's at the races a lot with you.
Yeah, we were actually talking the other night. And I told her that I might be going to Texas, and she says, when are we leaving? So she's always wanting to go and be there and support me, so that's awesome. I mean, like you said, I probably shouldn't say this, but I haven't been working on racing much this winter because I've been helping my parents with their company towing cars, so staying busy. So we'll see what we can do this year for racing.
Somebody's got to scrape the mud, right, Jack?
That's right. She scrapes the mud and frees the helmet.
She does a fantastic. I mean, she takes care of it. Does she want to runs your Facebook page?
Yeah, she runs Jack Dover Racing on Facebook also. So
yeah.
I told her we need to get a trailer and start taking a trailer to the racetrack so she can cut people's hair. She just graduated from hair school.
You know what? That's a good idea. Get a haircut before you go out. Shave yourself a couple of ounces and make your car a little quicker.
Yeah. She definitely does that. She keeps it trimmed up.
Cheaper than titanium bolts.
Yeah. Some of these drivers could really use a haircut, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We need to take a trailer so she can cut drivers' hairs.
While you're going through tech, get a trim.
Yeah.
All right, well, we've been talking to Jack Dover. Jack, we appreciate you calling in and talking to us for a few minutes and making the show a little more entertaining.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And to the people out there listening, go check my website out at jackdoverracing.com or our Facebook page, Jack Dover Racing.
All right, Jack, have a great season, and we'll talk to you soon. We'll probably have you on the show in about another month or so.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, Jack. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye. I always love talking to that guy. He's such an entertaining fella. It's he doesn't have a problem answering a question.
Well, he's got a smile on his face when it's time to talk about racing.
Yep, and he gets real excited. I just wish we could get him over that hump. He was so close a year ago to getting a World of Outlaws ride, and then it just got pulled off from underneath of him, and just heartbreaking. But he took it with a grain of salt, and he sat back down in his 360 and went out there and won a bunch of races.
Yep.
Like he said, jackdoverracing.com is where you can go to get more information. You can find him on Facebook, Jack Dover Racing. In fact, just on Wednesday, as we were talking to Jack, they posted that they're happy to announce that their first race is going to be at the Devil's Bowl, the 20th and 21st, just as Jack Jack talked about right here on the Front Stretch. As always, you can head over to the Front Stretch Facebook page and the Joe's Karting YouTube page to find all of the shows. And a good thing we get to announce this week, as long as I get my button gear, the show is going to be posted 10 a.m. on Sunday mornings now. So it's only going to be an hour after the show's over with that the show will be posted on YouTube, so that anybody that is outside of our listening area or isn't able to get to a radio, you guys can listen to it on YouTube through your smartphones and get Chad's fantasy picks, which we'll get next. We'll talk about the results from races and all that kind of fun stuff. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back. Turn number 4. We'll wrap this whole show up. We don't have much time in turn 4, so we're going to have to make it quick. But nonetheless, this is the Front Stretch on AM 590, Omaha's ESPN Radio.
Are you looking to book your next outing? Look no further than Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs. Located just north of Bass Pro Shop, Joe's Karting can handle outings of well over 100-plus people. Bachelor parties, corporate outings, team building, birthday parties, and much more. Give Buddy a call today and reserve your outing. Joe's will even work with local restaurants to cater your event. Book yours today at joeskarting.com. That's karting with a K. It's time to get to Joe's and find out what everyone already knows.
We have all been there before. Broken car part in your hand and some snot-nosed punk behind the counter has no idea what he is talking about, but he guarantees that this part will fix your car. You pay an arm and a leg for the replacement, get it home, and sure enough, it doesn't fit your car. Now, learn from your mistake and give an experienced salesperson at Kasiski Auto Parts a call today at 402-731-4592. Kasiski Auto Parts will get you back on the road with your arms and legs still attached.
Get ready for the victory lap as we make our way into Turn 4 on the Front Stretch. Presented by Joe's Karting. Online at joeskarting.com.
Heading into turn number 4 here on the Front Stretch, and it's brought to you by the official watering hole of the Front Stretch. Quaker Steak and Lube in Council Bluffs. Green flag action for Phoenix International Raceway for the CampingWorld.com 500 at Phoenix. Green flag at 2:30 today. All the action on the big screens at 1:30 at Quaker Steak and Lube. Get to the Lube in Council Bluffs for great wings, great burgers, great steaks, amazing beer specials.
Where's the race at?
Phoenix International Raceway. This is what happens when you don't prepare. Last year, let's see, top 5 at Phoenix International Raceway. Now, keep in mind, this race was a couple of weekends earlier last year. It was the second race on the season, Sunday, March 2nd. But Kevin Harvick got the dominating win, led 224 of the 312 laps. Dale Jr. came home second, Brad Keselowski third, Joey Logano fourth, and Jeff Gordon fifth. So hopefully that could mean Jeff Gordon could turn things around.
Hell, Gordon's had some good luck at that track, especially when him and Boyer got into it a couple years ago. That was
Oh, I forgot about that one. Tips from Mr. Fantasy. Chad Robb says Phoenix was repaved and reconfigured in 2011. When looking at the stats from the past races at Phoenix, fantasy players should only look at the stats from the races after the track was repaved. That's a good point. You get caught up in the 10-year stats and the 5-year stats, and really only the last 4 matter. Let's see. This is the easiest race of the season for the Front Stretch Pick'ems contest players. Just take Kevin Harvick. Plain and simple. If you don't have Kevin Harvick available to you because you took him already in the first 3 races, try Dale Jr. He's pretty darn good here too, and like you just said, Jeff Gordon too. The 5 drivers that Chad recommends: Kevin Harvick, Dale Jr., Jimmy Johnson, Carl Edwards, and Brad Keselowski. So if you want to get involved and get some tips from Chad, make sure you check out his Facebook page. It is facebook.com/NASCAR Tips from Chad. You can search it. You can find a link to it on the Front Stretch Facebook page. He's got some great information. Actually, he's at a conference in California. It's a fantasy conference that he's getting some more tips for us and strategies. So maybe we'll talk to him next week and have him on the show and see what he picked up at those conferences.
Yeah, that'd be kind of interesting. I didn't know they had fantasy conferences.
I didn't either, but that's what he's got. So let's talk about the results from Vegas as far as the Pick'ems contest is concerned. We finally have a clear-cut cut leader in the season-long contest. Jason Longmire's your points leader. Kevin Beadle, though, 1 point behind him. Brock Ackerman just 9 behind him. Monty Oman and David Ackerson round out the top 5. For the Spring Meltdown contest, this is a quick 5-week contest that we like to do. Let anybody they want to get in on it, as long as you can go to the contest, as long as you can go to the Spring Meltdown, you're going to win yourself a pair of tickets to the race at I-80 Speedway April, coming up the first week of April. So top 5 in the Spring Meltdown contest. Tony Carragher is the points leader right now. Dean Boger is 1 point behind him. Melissa Oman, wife of Monty Oman, is getting involved in the mix. She is tied with Jim Brennan and Jason Longmire, all of them 4 points behind. So that is your top 5 as far as the Pick'ems contest is concerned. So a lot going on. Don't forget, and I want to say thank you to Anthony Ainslie for joining us back in turn number 2 and talking to us about the Spring Thaw coming up this coming weekend, this Friday and Saturday at Junction Motor Speedway. Make sure you go over to junctionmotorspeedway.com for tickets and information about that race and getting yourself out there. Get kind of the log cabin, what they call cabin fever, shook off. It's been a gorgeous last couple of days.
That it has.
It's almost, I feel a little guilty because it's still March, so you kind of feel like it should still be cruddy weather, but I'm going to take it.
I'm just waiting for a sniff of good old Sunoco racing fuel.
That's coming up. We'll be at obviously be at Kansas Speedway for the May 9th race, which the tickets for that race are on sale now at kansasspeedway.com or call 866-460-RACE. And then the next weekend we'll be at Iowa Speedway for the Saturday-Sunday show with the Xfinity Series racing on Sunday. We'll be doing the show live from there. So we got a busy couple of weeks in May.
That's for sure.
It's going to be an absolute great time. Make sure you join us on Facebook, Front Stretch. Just search for the Front Stretch, and you can get information on the show. You can find out what we've got coming up that weekend and what we've got coming up. So that pretty much does it for today. It's a quick, simple turn number 4. We just wanted to kind of recap the Pick'ems contest and make sure you got your tickets for this weekend's race, the Spring Thaw at Junction Motor Speedway, and the Mike Chapin Spring Memorial at Junction Motor Speedway Friday and Saturday. And then next weekend we've got Auto Club Speedway, same time, green flag at 2:30. So that will, I believe that concludes our East Coast or West Coast swing, right? Then they head to Martinsville. So yeah.
Yep.
Next weekend, the weekend after Auto Club, we have a tentative interview with AJ Allmendinger. I wanted to talk to him about the start of his season and kind of talk to him a little bit about that. We're going to try to get Joe Miller on the show to talk about the Deary Brothers at Crawford County Speedway, and a lot of good stuff coming up on the show.
Deary Brothers should be a good show. I haven't been to one of them in a while.
You know, they moved that race to Saturday. It used to be on Friday night. Now it's on Saturday night. So it's still going to interfere with the Saturday night show, the Spring Meltdown, but not the Friday night show. So we'll talk to Joe about the reason for moving that and what they expect out of that show down at Crawford County Speedway.
Yep, they should get a good feel of cars because a lot of those guys come from eastern Iowa.
If you want to ever talk to Dirk, you can reach him via email at
dirk.tfs@gmail.
Dirk.tfs, that stands for The Front Stretch at Gmail. You can always email me, frontstretch590@gmail.com, and find us on Facebook. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. This has been The Front Stretch, presented by Joe's Karting on AM 590, Omaha's ESPN Radio.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak and Lube.
Quaker Steak and Lube is the official watering hole for the Front Stretch and the best place to catch all the NASCAR action today. Open at 11 a.m. with delivery available to Council Bluffs.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak and Lube.
Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs has taken a page out of IMCA's rulebook and gone crate. These brand new low-emission engines will still have you white-knuckling it all through the Metro's fastest indoor facility. Joe's Karting is now friendly for all skill levels with their brand new Honda-powered engines. It's time to get to Joe's today and find out what drivers like Jack Dover, Shaylee Bate, and Andrew Kosiski have known for years. Located in Council Bluffs and online at joeskarting.com. That's karting with a K.
Sports fans, the brightest stars of NASCAR are about to light up the night again at Kansas Speedway. Megastars Dave, Danica, Carl, Clint, Jeff, and more. Saturday, May 9th, it's our second annual NASCAR Sprint Cup Series night race. Parking is free and coolers welcome. Tickets on sale now with even more seats for $99 or less. Kids tickets just $29. Call 866-460-RACE or visit kansasspeedway.com today.